Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Be sure to hit the like button, put it in some comments, share with your friends. Be sure to hit the notification bell on your subscription so that you can get updates. Sometimes YouTube does not want to push a lot of the stuff out that we teach. Here at Yasplain, it's all about the integrity of the Word, and that's what we want to do, is look at the Word. And I just thought I'd share this morning. I was just kind of getting one of those downloads. You ever get just downloads and stuff from heaven? You think you're getting some stuff, but really I was just kind of pondering the Hebrew words, I guess, Hebrew letters. So when you consider the words of Elohim, you take part in that creation, I think. And so I was just looking at the word vow, right? The word vow. It's said that in Hebrew there's no vowels, right? So modern Hebrew, they have what they call little markings, little nakuds. It's like a nakud, and it's supposed to guide the reader to tell them the pronunciation, essentially the vowel sound. So I was just playing around with this word vowel. If you parse it up, it's Vow-El. So what is a vow? Well, a vow is an oath. It's a promise. It's a covenant. It's kind of like a bringing together, a joining of two different things. So I asked that question, kind of, could removing the vowels from the Hebrew words, could that be kind of like removing the covenant? Could that be adding to or taking away from Yah's words? Because we know that there's been manipulation throughout scriptures. Have the vowels been removed for a specific purpose? Maybe that purpose could be us, that we need to add them back in, that we need to reconstruct the words, that we need to partake in these things, kind of be like co-creators in the covenant. So maybe it's not nefarious, maybe it's intentional. It causes us to think, to ponder. And so that's what I was doing this morning, just kind of pondering the Vow-El, the covenant of El, making the covenant with Yahuwah. And so the Hebrew word for covenant is actually barith. You can see here, this is Bet, Resh, Yod, Tav, right? It's transliterated barith. So consider the first word of the Hebrew Bible. It's Bereshit, and it's translated in the beginning. It's transliterated in different ways. So translated means giving an interpretation, and transliterated is just taking it from one language to another and adding the letters to give us pronunciation. So we kind of do that with adding the vowels to these Hebrew words to give it a sound. And so we're kind of forced to partake in, hey, should this be an A? Should this be an E? Should this be an U? Like a vav is a wa, which is a ua. You know, we're partaking in this process. And so this word in the beginning, Bereshit, it's suggested that it's an E in the Hebrew AlephBet. Is that correct? I don't know. There is no E in the Hebrew, so why would it be Bereshit? But the word is prefixed with the Hebrew letter Bet, and Bet typically means in. Like paleographically, Bet looks kind of like a house, right? Or a circle, like a womb. It's a container. It's Bet, inside. And so whenever a Hebrew word is prefixed with a Bet, it typically means in. And the next two letters are the Resh Aleph. So Resh Aleph by itself in the Hebrew means to look, to see. So you think of the word Ra'ah too. I think that's like evil, but you look and see. But Ra, like, what's that god of the Egyptians, right? It's the big eye. Tara, to look, to see. So Bereshit is rooted in the Hebrew word rosh, which means head or leader, the one in charge. So also Aleph looks like an ox in the Paleo Hebrew. So Aleph is like the head, the leader. Rosh is you look at the Hebrew letter for resh, it is actually a physical head. So keep that in mind as we go through this. So the second word in the Bible is bara. Bara. And so you see we add the A's here to get that pronunciation, suggested A, and that's the word create. So in the beginning, Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth, right? First verse. With just the bet resh, we have the word bar, which is in Aramaic, it's equivalent to the word son. So you think of like bar mitzvah. You know, it's the son's coming of age, keeping the commandments. If I add a Hebrew letter ayin to the word bar, I get abar. So the ayin becomes an A sound, which means to pass over. So it's to cross over. So if you suffix that word with the Hebrew letter yod to abar, you get abiri. And of course they give you an I, so they change this. It's like, well, why is it an I here but an A here? But with the yod, with the suggested I, it's translated, it's the word Hebrew. So we get the word Hebrew from abri, which is abar, meaning to pass over, to cross over. And of course we change it in the English to an H. And so you can see how there could be a little bit of confusion with, is it an aleph, is it a bet, or a yod, A, E, I, O, U. So sometimes like rosh is resh, that O, is it an O? It's left up to the person that's involved with it to, I guess, make that distinction, or you go according to the Masoretes, which is masters of tradition, is what that means. You go with the masters of tradition with their Nakud marks, and you make sense of it. So the next words in the Bible, and completing it, you have Elohim, so Aleph Lamed Hey Yod Mem, Elohim Aleph Tav, Hashamim, that's Vav, which is an and Aleph Tav, Haaretz, Elohim, Aleph Tav, the Shamaim, and Aleph Tav Aretz. So in sequential order, literally, it would read, in the beginning created Elohim, Aleph Tav, the heavens, and Aleph Tav, the earth. That would be the word for word rendering of that understanding. So with Aleph being the first letter of the Hebrew AlephBet, and Tav being the last letter from beginning to end, is suggesting that it's the whole thing, the whole heavens and the whole earth, right? Aleph Tav is kind of like a signature. Tav in the Paleo Hebrew actually looks like an X. And I said, like before, the Aleph, right? It looks like, let me just do this here. What does it look like? Aleph Tav. That's actually like a, this is Paleo Erictology, but if you look in the older script, it looks like a head. It's an ox head, essentially. It's got the horns, like you think of like an elephant, Olephant, A-L, all, E-L. There's no E in Hebrew, but so Aleph, A-L, Al, is the word for God, right? So you have Aleph Tav, the ox, the head, the leader, and the Tav is the X. It's the mark. X is the mark, and that's the signatory, right? It's where you sign the contract. You sign the signatory. You execute the contract. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was in his forethought. It's kind of like he's saying, look, I made a creation covenant with my son, or with my sons in mind, to be the head of heaven and earth. To be the heaven and earth. So when we consider these matters, we construct our understanding of his ways, and we're taking part in the Creator's words. His logos, right? The Word became flesh. We are made flesh, and we are partakers of that covenant Vow-El when we partake in these matters, when we consider these things. So that was, I was just having fun this morning, kind of pondering some of this stuff and looking into the Hebrew words. So if you look at the first book in the Bible, kind of that's what I'm seeing just from rendering the paleo and considering just the construction of the AlephBet. So anyway, love to hear from you. Leave me a like, comment, share. We'll see you on the next one. Shalom.